That's it.
All right, is there anything else that you would want to look at? Think of your kids. Oh, the cell phone.
Cell phone.
So I'll go ahead.
We want to see.
Oh, no.
It's dead?
It's dead.
All right, we need a charger,
But-
people.
What would the students
Why do we
say?
need a charger?
So we can plug it in
What would
and get,
students say? It's dead, but
we got a charger for that.
right. And they'd have all kind of ideas, right, about how to charge. They could make that phone work. couldn't
So
they?
I might ask this question too. Why do you even care about the phone? It's dead.
I want to know whose phone it is.
Who they
Alright.
contacted lately.
Phones, contacts. So come on, my CSI
Said,
people.
who
What
she talk
else?
to?
Text
Who she talk to?
Text messaging.
Internet.
Pictures.
Oh, he said location.
The
That's
Jeep,
right.
the building GPS now.
Now here's something that you just did. One of the hardest things for kids to do is to generate questions.
That's right.
And you guys are just yelling out all the things that you would like to investigate further just with this phone. Michael at the SLED agency, he says there's a huge cabinet of chargers and power cords, and they just find it until they can match one up. All right? Any other piece?
Surely
The
there's
wallet.
one thing.
The wallet.
Yes.
And so in this wallet, no money, but we do have Dad's phone number,
Aww.
and then I have Booby's phone number.
Not boobies.
I'm hoping that was Bobby just misspelled.
No, I think that was boobies.
And then we have Miss Benton, but no phone number.
Oh.
D, and then Ben.
D and Ben have phone numbers?
Then Darby, no.
No phone numbers.
And then I have Mom.
How mom do that for back?
So how does this wallet help us as far as evidence goes? Age?
Yep.
Why do you say age?
Looking at who did the writing.
And usually they don't have their mom and dad's phone
There's no
number
like
handy.
cards or anything, so they don't have any.
I don't see a
like-
license.
Hold on, what'd you say?
There's no cards, so no identification, no debit cards, no.
And the handwriting.
And the handwriting. What about the fact that the numbers are written?
What if they're special needs?
It looks like a child's writing.
It does. Why might the numbers be written? Do you have numbers written in your wallet?
Nope.
Why?
No cell phone.
Because we have cell phones that
Oh,
have our
listen.
contact.
So you have contacts in your phone, right? I don't have any written phone numbers in my wallet, my purse. Everything's in my phone. In fact, I'm always worried if it goes out, I wouldn't know how to call my husband to get him. I have to think real hard about his number. So what does this tell you? That this person has all the numbers written,
No cell phone.
no cell
So
phone.
that's
So
not
now
their
we can draw another conclusion here.
Burglar's one in her house.
It's probably not his cell phone. All right? So at this point, we then start to have students, and this is where it gets, this is where you want your camera if you're in the classroom. We have them start to say, you know what, take 3 to 5 minutes. You can work with the detectives at your table and come up with who you think the victim is, the scenario that has happened, what was the crime. Take 2 minutes and see if you can come up with the whole scenario of the crime. And remember, it's not about what's right or wrong. Can you prove it with the evidence?
And he wouldn't stop.
It does seem like this. Like she threw his ring, she threw her ring. The girl was very otherwise.
You know you want a fake person.
Maybe if there was a child way.
Because he wrote in the baby.
Or maybe the mom tried to give everything to the criminals so that if anything happened. So they surrendered several women.
Special needs son.
Going down that road seems to be dark for children. Is contact solution poisonous?
That's a trace line of a dead body. Because the killer. And I'm assuming that the killer got away. I'm assuming it's the cops. But they feared that so it happened. So my opinion is right out the window. I wanted it to be a baby.
as they were running.
It's the wife. It's the wife. He came home and he had her flowers and he saw her man in the field.
Correct, we've heard some interesting conversations. We've heard some interesting conversations around the room. Okay. And I know we got one brewing over here. Really, really hot. We're gonna start right here with these ladies and let them tell us what their, synopsis, what their roundup was.
So we said that a mom and a son went on a ski trip together, and they stayed in the lodge, and the mom heard something outside, little boy was outside when he shouldn't have been, and so the mom went out and like slipped and ran into him, that's why stuff's all over his place, because he was playing like dress up, and then she runs back to the door and tries to stop him, but she's barefoot, and they walked out of the room. So there's stuff's all over the place, and there's footprints.
Somebody's dead.
Yeah, that's a dead body.
Aaron, I'm gonna ask you to, I'm sorry.
And hopefully, somewhere in the text, she read that there was a mom and a son, so she's making that connection, hopefully, because that's, of course, what we want our students to be able to do.
Well, mouse man, why are you drawing that connection, Aaron? Why are you saying a mom and a son?
We did the ski mask, and then there's the cell phone, so it's an adult, and then we found a male wallet, which is most likely the son trying to be like his dad, so he could have been putting on his dad's jewelry and having some of his mom's stuff or something. Maybe it's a sister, there's a third person involved, and that's why the mom ran out, because they got into a fight or something.
If we get the phone working, we can prove or disprove that, because we got mom's number and,
Very good, very good. One of the things that we want to do while we're having this conversation is to make sure that Aaron, who has all these great ideas, is able to back them up with evidence. So sometimes we have to guide those questions. Also sentence stems, start your sentence with "this evidence leads me to believe." And so that can be a scaffolding tool that we also give to them. All right, we'd like to have another scenario, but very good, Aaron. Yeah. Is this PG-13?
No.
Okay, no.
Triple X, we're all adults, rated R.
All right, this will wake everybody up.
Oh, gosh. Okay, so I originally said that the wife was cheating, and Ms. Tunnell said, but that's a little boy. I said, okay, well, fine then, she was cheating with the pool boy. The husband came in and caught them, and so they started to tussle. So she grabbed the closest thing that was to her, which was her purse, and so that's where everything kind of just, came all out the purse. And then I said, well, how did he die? Because there isn't any blood. So she said, well, the husband choked the boy. And so that's how he fell out, and then he went running out and left the footprints. And I said, well, what about the ski mask? And she said that they were doing role play. So that was the story.
I just say,
And you thought about it.
All right, how about one more? Anybody else have a good creative one that they're dying to share? You guys all kind of turned red over here, so I was trying to figure out.
I was laughing at
Very similar.
I said murder for hire.
All right, murder for hire, give it to me.
So I was saying, like, something like there was an affair going on and one spouse decided to kill the other one, and so that's where the ski mask, like, they hired somebody, that's where the ski mask is. And so to make it look legit, like a burglary, they spread the jewelry and stuff around. That was my thing, so.
All right. At this point, and we're not going to go any further as far as for you all, but we would take this into a writing of, okay, you got to use your evidence, at least have 3 pieces of evidence to prove how the crime was committed, and also a place of what other items would you need to go to next so we can generate those questions. That's your research, that's your inquiry. I will tell you that telling students what actually happened is not necessary in this kind of setting. but adults can't stand
No,
them.
we can't.
They're really bad about that. This is based off the true crime scene that my friend Michael was telling me about. And here's the killer. Well, I shouldn't use that word. Your victim and your suspect are the same.
Told you.
There was a burglar in the house with a ski mask who was robbing his family. The husband and wife come in from dinner, come in through the front door, and unlike me who tucked tail and run, the husband went in, and as he went to grab the ski mask and actually pull it off, it caused the burglar to lunge forward, hitting his temple into the granite island in the kitchen, killing him instantly. You talk about a karma situation. So, I mean, I loosely based it, but yes, this is the story he was telling me about, and I'm like, holy cow. So what's kind of cool if you're going to recreate this is, there were pieces of evidence that weren't necessarily important to the crime. We want to make sure kids can discern between what's really important and what's going to help them stake their claim, and what is just kind of, interesting, but kind of trivial at the same time. The second thing with a crime like this, if you have kids, you don't have really a person of innocent being harmed, so for the age group, it kind of works nicely if you have to give it to them. We had kids, though, that bent down to see the watch. Do you remember that, your child? And the watch is 9 o'clock, and he discerned from that watch that it had to have happened at 9 p.m. because it was 9:30, I think we were doing it in your room. And so it couldn't have happened just recently because this is an old crime scene. And so to see kids kind of start thinking about evidence like that, when you give them something to read next, they have a picture to connect that thinking with. So that is what this is all about, is kind of painting that picture of understanding the difference between summarizing and analyzing this crime scene. Carol, let you kind of wind us up.
Thank you. And of course, the whole time you're doing this, you have your students turning and talking. When we did it initially at our Florence kickoff, we changed groups, because sometimes when you have kids turn and talk, they might have some beef with that person they usually turn and talk to. They might not feel like talking. And so we let them get up and rotate and talk to a different set of people. The entire time they're taking notes. So by the time it's time to write, everybody usually has something to write. So those students who don't like to write, those ones that you have trouble getting to, just get something down on the paper, for the sake of SC Ready, write something besides your name and date. Those are the ones that you really want to do the rotations for, so that by the time they finish, at least they've got at least a paragraph, and so it really works well. We do have handouts that you can actually print. You'll actually be able to copy and print those. But what we generally give, of course, is we know for SC Ready we have to prove, our SLOs rather, those wonderful letters, SLO. We have to prove and keep data, track data, of course, what we're actually doing for the students, how are we helping them to get ready. And so what I created was just a simple outline of where you can actually put your whole class on here. And it's the 8 bullets from the SC Ready rubric, and it's a breakdown. And by the time, of course, you go through the SC Ready pre-assessment, which I'm sure you will do, or any assessments you do with your students, you can actually look here and have you got the student's name, you know who's struggling in what area where the rubric is concerned. And that, therefore, you can establish your small groups, your individualized, differentiated instruction from this particular sheet. And so it's a really good thing that will go well with your SLOs, because you've got this sheet when you go in for your conferencing to be able to say, this is where we were. You've got your next sheet to be able to say, this is where we moved to. And then we've got an independent sheet, if you just want to keep one on each one of your students, where you can actually, it's an SLO for your first your pre-assessment meeting, and then your final meeting, that you can actually say, those students that are really struggling, this is where I worked individually with whoever the student was, and this is where they were, and this is where we were able to move them to. And we've got all of that for you on our Google Docs.
Yep. We do have a QR code if that's something you're interested in. Obviously, because you're here, it's easy to send this to you. Inside the Google Slides has all of the documents embedded in it. You just click on the link and you go. That is really the end of